Because he says the Quran only has one version. Yeah. And there we are. We're here with all these different versions of Bibles. He's saying Quran is only in Arabic anyway. You can have all the versions you want in translation, and they're not Quran. None of us would ever consider somebody gives you a Islamic ruling from a translation of Jusuf Ali.
No way.
Would never accept that, right?
I agree.
But if you look in the Quran and you see something clearly said, this is haram, this is halal, permitted, or something is forbidden, okay, then that's fine. So he's saying there's only one version of Quran, it's in Arabic language. And I felt like, okay, that was a dumb argument. I wish I had never brought that one up. So the next time we're sitting around, okay, let's go this way. I have another idea.
Okay.
In the meantime, my preacher friend has already told me, I talked to him on the phone, I went to his house, he said, stay away from that Muslim. Stay away from them, and whatever you do, if he brings that book, that Quran book, don't touch it. Mm-hmm. Don't read it.
You had any idea they were planning this?
No, at all.
Conniving and planning is what we were doing. How to convert this Muslim to Christian.
But, this is the first time I know that now.
You didn't hear that?
But you had in any part of meeting Sheikh Jusuf back then, you had any intention to convert him as well?
No, it was just a business deal. That's all. Then it turned to be what happened. But originally it was just
a business deal
concern on my part.
Subhanallah.
So now the next thing I was thinking about, okay, let's go another route. So we clear the table after another meal on another night. This time, let's talk about God. We believe in God, the real God, the God of Adam and Abraham. And he's going, yeah, just like he'd said before. And then he asked me, how do you explain Trinity? Because I said, God is one. And he said, this is what we believe. He said, and that's it. We don't have anything more than that. But you have a Trinity, so how do you explain it? So I had this idea. I'm going to explain. You remember the apple, tufa? Yeah. The apple has the skin on the outside. Yeah. It has the white meat inside, and inside of that are the seeds.
Sure.
So these three things make one apple. Three things make one God. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. And then he said, how many seeds are in there?
Yeah. I remember.
So next day, I'm back over talking to my preacher friend again. I said, oh, the apple thing didn't work. He said, I told you, stay away from these Muslims. They're going to hurt you. You're going to get a demon, son. You're going to get a demon, a shaitan,
Yeah.
So I said, no, come on, man. Give me another. He said, use the babe, egg. Tell him about, I said, okay, egg. So the next time I'm telling him, the egg, it has the white shell. Inside the shell is the white of the, and then inside of that is the yolk.
Yeah.
Three things, one egg.
Got him here.
Got him. No, he said, what if it's a double yolk? When it has two yellows?
Yes.
You see an egg do that sometime? He said, does your God become four? Ooh. And what if it's rotten? An egg could be rotten.
Then you have
Do you want a God that can be rotten?
Of course not.
Yeah. And you're comparing Allah to an egg, for crying out loud. This is an unbelievable thing. And so then it comes the subject of comparing God to a family. Like a man is a husband and a wife and a child. The three make one family. It's the family of God. Well, what if you have some more kids or twins? Or what if you get a divorce? You want a God that can get a divorce? No, you don't want that. So we're going through these different stages of how to explain something. Finally, I'm about exasperated. I tried the finger. You know the finger?
Yeah.
When it's one finger, but you go like this. 1, 2, 3 parts makes you compare God to your finger. What's this? SubhanAllah.
Trying everything possible.
Yeah, and then finally, the water. You've heard of the water one, right?
Yeah.
The water is like this. Water is three things. It is a liquid, it is a gas when it's a vapor, when it becomes steam, and also it's a solid when it freezes. Three things, all in one. Except what? They can't be all three at the same time. Yeah, that's right. So now what will you do? How will you so finally, I'm going to throw it back on him. I said, well, what do you guys say about it? And what did he read? Surah Ikhlas. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. Now the meaning, when he explained the meaning, this is what got me. But while he was saying it, we were in the car.
Yes, I remember.
And you were reciting, and I told you, stop, read it again, say it again. You said, why? You don't know the Arabic. I said, no, something is beautiful. I don't know what you
started
said.
crying in Arabic. I remember that.
Many times I saw other people like me who they hear the Arabic in the Quran. They don't know Arabic, but they start to cry because it's Allah's speech. And when the heart is real and sincere, it recognizes Allah's speech.
Subhanallah.
It does.
The heart does, yeah.
It's not a joke. Now, if somebody's a non-believer, won't believe that anyway, so who cares? But if somebody believes, they will recognize this Quran, this speech of Allah. And I'll come back to this. So now, I'm perplexed. I'm stressed out over this thing. I can't convert this guy. In the meantime, he brings a Quran. That big, remember the big Jusuf Ali translation?
Arlington Mosque, yes, sir.
You got it from the mosque.
Arlington Mosque, yeah.
Yeah, and he brought it, and he set it on top of the counter in my dad's store. It was set up there. And I'd look at it, and he said, do you want, I said, no, that's okay, you know. And when he wasn't looking, you see, I went over and I looked at it, and I remember my friend's warning, don't read that book. So I said this little prayer in my heart before I touched it. Oh God, protect me from any evil while I read this book. Now, any Muslim knows that that's exactly what we always say anytime we go to the Quran. Every Muslim does that. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I seek refuge with Allah from the cursed devil. And then we begin to read the book. Exactly. I didn't even know I was doing the right thing. I opened it up. And what I read? Surah Fatiha.
Subhanallah.
The next thing that happens, though, the Catholic priest, he asked Muhammad, can I go to your church? Meaning the masjid. He went with you. You remember that?
Yeah.
And they were having all this business going on, and so-and-so in the mosque at that time. The Muslims are the biggest enemy to Islam in America. But that's another story.
Very tough period, yeah.
Yeah. So when you brought Peter back, Father Peter Jacobs, when he came back to the house, do you know what we did? My wife and I took him aside and we said, what did they do in there? Did they like slaughter any animals? Did they make any bombs? What were they doing? He said, no, they came and they stood and they were bowing, prostrating on the ground, sitting, and then they left. I said, that's it? He said, that's it. Then the Catholic priest asked you again to go the next week.
Right. Yeah.
This time they didn't come home until very late at night. And when they came home, here the priest, he got out of the car. You got out. I recognized you right away. But who is this guy with you? Because he was wearing a long white dress. He had a pillbox cap on his head. I said, what did you do? Did you become a Muslim?
Yeah, no,
and he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu Muhammad Rasulullah. So look at this. A Catholic priest becomes a Muslim. Now here I am telling my wife about this at night. I'm saying, we were just about to go to bed. Yeah. I was all excited. I was, and I'm telling her, look, this Catholic priest became a Muslim. What are you thinking about Allah, the Quran, so and so? She said, I want a divorce. I said, huh? She said, I want a divorce. I said, why? She said, a Muslim can't be married to a Christian. I want a divorce. I said, wait a minute. Whoa, I didn't say I want to be a Muslim. I will never be a Muslim. No. Don't worry about a divorce. Besides, Muhammad told us a Muslim woman can't be married to a Christian man. But if I became a Muslim, we could still be married. It's the Muslim woman that can't be married to the Christian man. She said, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I want to be a Muslim. I said, what? I wasn't ready for that. And then I said, wait a minute. Hold on, there's good news here. Because I really did like Islam. I didn't know how to tell anybody. I wanted to say, I couldn't. So I said, okay, I too wish to be a Muslim. That's the good news. I'll be a Muslim too. She said, I don't believe you. I said, no, I'm telling the truth. She said, no, you're a liar. I said, I'm not lying, I'm telling the truth. She said, you're either a liar right now, or you were a liar 5 minutes ago when you said you didn't want to be a Muslim. Either way, you're a liar. I was shocked. I said, what am I going to do? So I went downstairs. Actually, she was throwing me out of the house. And I was thinking, how did she throw me out of my father's house? I went down and I woke you up.
Oh, she was throwing you out of the house?
She was, yeah.
Wow.
And I went down and got you. That's when we walked around that night. Yes. Walked all of those back roads, all through Midlothian. You remember?
Yeah,
until the sun started coming up. And I'm asking him a million questions. And finally he said it like this. He said, it was a beautiful thing he said. It's not between you and me anymore. It's not between you and your father. My father was a minister, by the way. He said, it's not between you and your wife. This is between you and your Lord. You need to go talk to him. And he let me go. And he went off to pray Fajr. And I went off and I put my head on the ground in the same direction I'd seen him do that. And I said, let me do what he did. And with my head on the ground, I said these words, oh God, guide me.
Oh.
And when I lifted up my head, I knew I need to be a Muslim. I went in the house, I went upstairs, I made a shower, I came down, and in front of this man right here,
Yes.
and that Catholic priest, I made my shahada. I said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an Muhammad Rasulullah. A few minutes later, my wife comes down with hijab on her, and she did the same thing. She made her, and a couple months later, my dad accepted, and my children grew up